Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a blessed day. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Of course, I have my co host with me, Mr. Southern, Mr. I Am Greatness. Coach 67 Sports TV. What's good, brother?
Not a whole lot. Blessed and highly favored on this Sunday afternoon. How y'all gentlemen doing?
I'm good, man. I can't complain about anything. And brother JB, what's going on, man?
Chilling, man. Chilling, bro. Enjoying this weekend, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're gonna chop it up a little bit and then get off here. Uh, First of all, we normally talk about football and everything, but um, we're gonna throw a little bit of boxing in the game. We will discuss about Ryan Garcia and um, basically being exposed, being a cheater. But we will get to that. We're gonna talk about football first. You know what I mean? Um, but man, one thing I want to address, and we may be kicking a dead horse or beating a dead horse, but I was highly disappointed that no HBCU players were drafted at all. At all, man. Davies Richard wasn't picked up. I think he still uh, wasn't picked up, and I believe that he was one of the best like prospects on a lot of people boards. And I'm blanking on his name. What's the gentleman that's basically the head of the draft? Well, he could basically created the draft, not the draft, but the draft show. White guy with glasses.
We talking Mel Kiper Jr.?
Yeah, Mel Kiper. He had Davis Richard on his board as one of the best possible quarterback prospects to be drafted, even though he was lower, down the list, but uh, he was there. And don't get me started. My Baltimore Ravens had a chance to get him. I really didn't want us to draft a quarterback, but we drafted Devin Leary, bro. So my thinking, I was all the way messed up, man. So my thinking was, if we're gonna draft a quarterback, get someone who's an athlete. Not saying Devin Leary is an athlete because he wouldn't be playing football, but he's not a Davis Richard. And me personally, I believe he's a little bit Davis Richard. Um, will be a better thrower of the ball once he learns how to set his feet properly, which can be coached up easily. He'll be a way more throwing in the ball than Devin Leary. So I was highly it's more Isaiah Majors wasn't picked up. Sunday Anderson wasn't picked up. The tackle from Virginia State. Uh, yeah, it's very disappointing for my HBCU brothers, man. Them young men. But a lot of them were picked up by teams. I believe Sundiata is actually going to the Seahawks. Correct? Yeah, Seattle Seahawks. Uh, and there's some more, but they should have been drafted, man. Uh, any input? Any feedback?
Well, I know from my take personally, I mean, to me, it's no excuse at this point. I mean, I know, like, if you talk about, like, the WNBA, you could say somebody like Andrew Jackson, she might not have had as good a chance because you only have a limited number of roster spots. You kind of make that same argument with the NBA, but somebody like Sunday Anderson with his talent, there's absolutely no way you could tell me that he shouldn't have been drafted at all, and he got to sign with the team as an undrafted free agent. To me, that's bull crap. It's nonsense. I think at this point, like you said at the beginning, it's like beating a dead horse. There's no way you can justify to me in my mind why none of them got drafted. I mean, the talent is there, so to me, it's unforgivable at this point. I mean, somebody should have been drafted from the HBCU ranks as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, sir. I highly agree. There's really no excuse. There were and there were some players from like South Dakota State and players like that were drafted, but you know, Bethune Cookman had a corner that could have been a good special teams piece. That Hill Robertson dude. Again, Sunday Anderson, he could have been a good edge piece, good project for somebody.
I'm just gonna say this, man. I know, man. I was upset too, man, because I know a lot of them boys, man. Some of some of the best players that were ranked in HBCUs were better than some of them dudes that went in the later rounds. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
I just want to say this to all them dudes: it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Yeah, you were undrafted, but I'm gonna tell you what this one NFL player said. Or I think it was Keyshawn Johnson. In about 3 years, some of these or a lot of these first round draft picks ain't even gonna be in the league. Or receivers is not gonna be in the league. Or offense and defense is not gonna be in the league. So put your head down, get to work, have that chip on your shoulder, and get you that contract you deserve. And that's for all my HBCU brothers. Don't be discouraged. It's a blessing in disguise. They overlooked you. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? So you already knew you coming from an HBCU, you were gonna get overlooked. But football is football. Y'all do y'all thing, fellas.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree, man. Very well said. It's just I'm just tired of the overlooking of the talent that some of these brothers can just easily go to a Division I school or PWI school and play very well, but because the school they're coming from, they're not even getting a shot, and it's a very tiring to see. But like I said, it is what it is, and like JB said, he said it very well. It's not where you start; it's how you finish. And some of these brothers are gonna be on the roster, and some of these players that were drafted gonna be moving around. So, very well said. We're gonna move on to the NFL. So we didn't have a show last week, unfortunately. But I did enjoy I enjoyed the draft, but I'm not gonna lie. I don't know about you fellas. I was very irritated with my team. We didn't, in my opinion, there's so much potential everywhere in the positions that we needed to draft. In my opinion, we didn't deliver. And not just my team, other teams like Joe Town, brother Joe Town, he wanted the Raiders to draft a quarterback. For some reason, they didn't pull the trigger, and then their excuse was they had some piss poor excuse.
They basically said they like the quarterbacks they already got, which is Adrian Martinez, and I think they picked up Gardner
Gardner
Minshew.
Minshew.
So
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, Gardner Minshew is a decent starter, but he's not. He's not going to. He's not overall going to
get you over that hump.
get you over that hump. You said it best last year. He gonna win you at least 5 to 7
About
games.
about 5 to 7 games, and then the rest of them games he gonna show you why he a backup quarterback. So um they were better off getting a Joe Milton or like you said, a Davis Richardson, um, somebody they can build, sit behind Adrian Martinez and Gardner Minshew, so they can look towards the future. They didn't even try, so I don't know what the Raiders is doing. To be honest with you,
And Antonio Pierce is the new head coach. So former New York Giants linebacker, um, Super Bowl winning linebacker, Pro Bowler too. Um, so just want them to do right by that brother and surround that brother with the pieces. But it looks like they crapped the bed on that. I have here. Let me know if y'all can see it. It's loading. Basically, the list of everyone's picks. So we're gonna go with cause Coach is was kindly to join us, even though he's at a game, because he's a real life coach. So he's moving around. He outside, so we appreciate you, Coach, for still hopping
Yeah,
on.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, if you want my 2 cents on the Saints, I can give it to you now if you want, bro.
Yes, sir. So
absolutely.
yes.
Well, I'm
So
gonna be
they
honest.
the NFL analysts. Hold on, Coach. Let me bring you in. Let me bring you in. So the NFL analysts gave your Saints draft grade A minus. Y'all picked Oregon State tackle Talise Fuaga, Alabama defensive back Kool-Aid McKinstry, which I think that was good. South Carolina quarterback Spencer Rattler, Pittsburgh wide receiver Bud Means, linebacker Texas Jalen Ford from Texas Jalen Ford, Northern Iowa defensive lineman Christian Boyd, and Eastern Kentucky offensive tackle Josiah Israel. So what did you think about these draft picks,
I mean,
Coach?
I think that's an accurate grade. Maybe A minus to B plus. Me personally, I gave it a B plus. I think getting Fuaga with the first pick, it definitely filled the biggest area of need. Kool-Aid McKinstry, I think he was a real value pick for where you were selecting. For him to fall that far, I think that was an excellent pick. In addition, I think Spencer Rattler, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's a world beater, but just think, when Sean Payton and the Broncos selected Bo Nix, Spencer Rattler was the next quarterback to come off the board. So I think for where you drafted him, I think you ended up getting good value. Bob Means, now I don't know. I mean, unless the Saints really parting ways with Kirkwood, I don't know. At wide receiver, it's going to be hard to make that roster because I mean,
He's a good receiver.
No. He's a good receiver, but I mean, you got to think. I mean, of course, they were able to bring back Rashid Shaheed. Chris Olave, the guy. They moved on from $100 million Mike. But I mean, they let Shaq Davis roll. He ended up winning the Jets. But I mean, the Saints, and then of course, they got A.T. Perry last year in the draft. So they drafted a wide receiver last year that's ended up being pretty productive towards the end of the year. So, the wide receiver position, everybody's saying for the Saints is an area of need. I think it's only an area of need if you can't, lock down a long-term deal with Rashid Shaheed. I think if you could bring Rashid Shaheed back, and the fact that he's a good return man and he's a good slot, I think he kind of kills two birds with one stone for you. But I think overall, I think they had an excellent draft from the standpoint of they were able to get value at each particular position. With Fuaga and Kool-Aid McKinstry, Spencer Rattler. I think he probably was the best quarterback available at that position. So overall, I was satisfied with the draft that they had. Now, if Spencer Rattler actually makes the roster, I think if he can sit behind Derek Carr, which, truthfully speaking, having Derek Carr, you probably prefer somebody that's more NFL ready, like a Michael Penix Jr., who, if push came to shove, if you really got to struggling or whatever the case may be, you could throw him in. I think the issue with it is the fact that Derek Carr is, he's not a franchise guy. He's not Drew Brees by no stretch of the imagination. In addition to that, if you have any type of injury concerns of if Carr gets hurt, who's going to be your backup? You don't have nobody that you really confidently plug in and say, hey, this guy is going to be a good quality backup, like you were saying earlier, a Gardner Minshew type. That's really what Gardner Minshew role should be. He's not a starter in the NFL. He's a backup. You want somebody like that to be able to plug and play if Carr gets hurt. But if Carr gets hurt, then who's going to be the next up? But I think overall, the Saints roster, they have other issues to address. But in terms of the draft that they had, I was pleasantly surprised and I was pleased as a Saints fan.
Yeah, even though Spencer Rattler had a up and down career, going from Oklahoma to South Carolina, at one point he was in the running for the Heisman, but he has the tools to improve and be a decent starter. I'll go as far maybe be even a little bit better than Derek Carr.
No, I would agree with that. The reason being, you got to realize at one point, many people thought this guy was going to be like a Heisman Trophy winner. Many individuals thought this guy was going to be like a top 5 pick in the NFL draft coming out of high school. But I think the Netflix special didn't do him any justice.
No, it didn't.
People were saying that's part of the reason why he fell so far. So at the end of the day, I think he's an exceptional talent. But for whatever reason, I think the Netflix special didn't help him. People see him to be a little bit of a butthole. And in addition to that, I think overall, things didn't come together for him in college. The situation with him and Caleb Williams, vying for the same position at Oklahoma, him eventually transferring to South Carolina. And sometimes when you're moving around in instability, it kind of hurts you as a quarterback. But overall, I think in terms of value, I think that was a big get at that particular spot where they drafted,
Yeah, I agree. When y'all come on in, hit my like button, subscribe if you're new. Shout out to brother Big Joe. He said, enjoying a Sunday with my lady. Salute to the family. Brother, enjoy your Sunday, man. Enjoy your Sunday, man. Appreciate you.
Salute town.
Salute, Big Joe.
All right. 2 questions, Coach, for you before I move on to JB. Who to you had the best draft? And who had the worst draft?
First, let me start with the worst draft. I'm not saying it because of that particular pick. I'm saying that I think it's a good pick for him. But the fact that the Falcons took Michael Penix Jr. where they drafted him, I think he's a good heir apparent and a good long-term solution. But I don't like the fact that you gave Kirk Cousins the amount of money you gave him. to me, I think it's kind of a head scratcher. I think that kind of penciled you in at the worst as the worst team in terms of draft. In terms of the best, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears, even though I think there's a lot of question marks when it comes to, is Caleb Williams like a generational type talent? The way people say he is, I mean, it kind of remains to be seen. But the fact that you were able to get two quality picks that high in the draft, I think that's really gonna help their team in the long run. So I would say the Bears had the best. I think the fact I'm not saying Penix was a bad pick. I say it's a bad pick considering the fact that you invested so much money in Kirk Cousins. So I think overall, that's your best and your worst draft as far as I'm concerned.
I can see where you're coming from. That's very interesting. You picked the Falcons. But I can see as far as cat wise for the Falcons, why would you pick them as the worst? Because you have to still honor Kirk Cousins, and then but then this may be good for Michael Penix, but cat wise it was
And I know my cousin King Ray, he always says this all the time. The reason why you overpay guys like Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins is because the pay scale for quarterbacks. Man, I'd rather have a quarterback like a Jameis Winston and pay him $4 million as opposed to having somebody like Kirk Cousins and drastically overpay him, especially the fact that he's coming off an injury. So to me, I don't care what nobody says. It's blatantly racist in terms of the pay structure. In terms of, you got, Cam brought this up. Cam Newton. He was saying, if you look at the money he made in his NFL career, Cam Newton had a far better NFL career than somebody like Kirk Cousins. But he was like, for the kind of money you paid him, you could have got him and Mike Vick for the kind of money you gave Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins is not that guy. He's only one playoff game as a starter. So it's like, come on, man. Man, don't get me wrong. There's a racial component to it, but from a cap standpoint, to me, I'd rather give Jameis Winston the $4 million and draft Michael Penix and let him be my heir apparent, as opposed to throwing all that money away on Kirk Cousins. I don't care if nobody says you can't justify and rationalize the decision. To me, had they not got him, I think Michael Penix was a good pick in that particular spot. But the fact that you tying up so much money in that one position, is a head scratcher from a salary cap standpoint.
okay. JB, what about you? Who had the best draft to you, and who had the worst draft?
I would say it's between the Steelers and Chicago. When it comes to the worst, I used to think that, man, I don't think there's really no worst, because when we talk about the quality of the picks, yeah, we can speak about that, but we don't know until they put them pads on, bro. So we can say Atlanta, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I think it was a smart move. I think it was just a thing where they said, all right, Kirk, we're giving you all this money, you better produce. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too comfortable. Because if we give you all this money, we're thinking about our future. So I think it was kind of smart, and just agreeing with what Coach said. Like, they don't have fully trust in Kirk Cousins like that. So that's why they drafted Penix. And I just like how the Steelers picked with the Steelers, was building their O-line in the draft to help the running back. And Chicago, man, it looks good on paper, but it's still Chicago. You see what I'm saying? So
Facts. Yeah. They still have to protect them. The ball still got to get to the target. Yeah, you're right. But Caleb Williams still seem to be the goods, but we gonna see. So you're absolutely right.
How many years we said that about the Browns? Well, the Browns just ain't been. And then when the season come along, when it's actually time to play football, this ain't been too good, you know. So
That's true. That's true. I have for two teams that I think that they did a good job in the draft. Mine is the Eagles. For knowing that their secondary needs to be retooled. So they picked up the best defensive back, in my opinion, in the draft, Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo, and they picked up the white corner, Iowa's Cooper DeJohn, who can play safety and corner and play on the outside, and they got the running back Will Shipley, which he was a beast. So of course you see the wide receiver and Naya Smith. They brought another trotter to the ball club, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. If y'all don't know about this young man's dad, Google him. He was a beast, and Coach will tell you he was a beast back in his day with the Eagles. Michigan offensive guard Trevor Keegan, Florida State wide receiver Johnny Wilson, and NC State center Dylan McMahon. So I think they did very well. Another team that I felt that did a decent job was sorry to say JB took mine. I was gonna say the Steelers, but I'm sorry to say the defending champions, Kansas City Chiefs. Even though they they signed a speedster, former first round draft pick Marquise Brown. They drafted Xavier Worthy, and the reason why they needed security since the Rasheen Rice. They don't know what's gonna happen they don't know if they're gonna. Right now, we're not sure that if he's gonna stay on the roster, or they're gonna get rid of him or release him. So for security for Patty Mahomes at the wide receiver core, they drafted the fastest wide receiver from Texas, Xavier Worthy. They got offensive tackle Kingsley Sumiata and tight end Jared Wiley from TCU. He was a decent tight end. Washington State defensive back Jaden Hicks, Penn State offensive lineman Hunter Norzad, Tennessee defensive back Kamal Hayden, and Holy Cross's offensive line CJ Hansen. So, of course, like JB said, on paper, it looks good, but they have to suit up and play. But those two teams did great in my opinion. Now, the team that I felt that didn't do all that great was and I don't mean to pick on your team, Big Joe, but you made some good points. Las Vegas, they needed a quarterback. And if you look at their picks on that screen, you don't see near quarterback. Not one. I'm glad they picked the tight end. They got a running back Dylan Luby, but they need a quarterback to throw it to the tight end. And they did not deliver, and then their excuse was basically they didn't see the guy they wanted, or they couldn't pull the trigger. Some bull crap excuse. It was pathetic. But
man, look, I changed my pick. Yeah, it's the Raiders. Yeah, because I ain't there was quarterbacks there. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There was quarterbacks there, and even in you picked Brock Bowers and Jackson Powers Johnson. Those were bad picks, terrible picks. Brock Bowers is the best tight end in the league. You also can use them out like we use Likely
You said they
and Mark
were
Andrews.
bad picks or weren't bad picks?
They weren't bad picks.
Oh, they weren't.
Okay, but the Maryland OT, right? The Maryland pick, the offensive tackle from Maryland, right?
Right.
DJ Glaze. That could have been a quarterback right there.
Yeah.
And there was quarterbacks on the board that they could. I promise you, is better. If somebody's better than Adrian Martinez, or possibly better, or could have been a project quarterback that you could have been working on. So I don't know what the Raiders was doing.
Maybe they got hopefully, I'm not. I don't know about you, JB or Coach. I don't know a lot about the free agent quarterbacks that's available right now. So I'm not sure if they can even pick up one for free agency. So I'm not really game to ones that are free.
Well, I mean,
that can turn the franchise around.
I mean, it tells you about the quarterback market anytime. Kirk Cousins got the kind of money he got. It tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right, man. But can I be honest with you? A lot of like the San Diego, a lot of people had decent drafts, man. LA Chargers, they picked up the best tackle, in my opinion, in the draft, offensive tackle, Joe Alt, and then picked up this may be the next Wes Welker, Lad McConkey. Of course, we have to see, but how he play. And then they got Brandon Rice in the later rounds, so he might be a jewel because he was doing his thing at USC. He transferred from Colorado to USC before Prime got there, and a lot of people had good drafts, man. Like JB said, I don't think nobody really had a horrible draft, but the Raiders definitely needed a quarterback. That's why I picked them as having the worst draft out of all of them. They definitely needed a quarterback. And we're not gonna stay on the Ravens. We don't want to saturate the show just talking about the Ravens, but we got to talk about it, JB. We have to. Like I said in the middle of the show, we had a decent draft in the beginning of the show. We had a decent draft. The NFL gave us an A minus.
I give them a B minus.
When we listen to Lunch Break Hot Take and we listen to Coach Sip the Tally Show, the panel, you know what I mean? Hendo Road Podcast, Sister Yolanda, you know what I mean? Shows like that, Baltimore Ravens channels like that. Living Big with Big Reg. They gave us low. I mean, they gave us a lower grade, and I highly agree because I honestly think we should have went wide receiver first round. Mm-hmm. I think we could have got a decent corner in the second or third round. I didn't think we need to get a decent Isaac. I'm glad, as a UNC Tar Heel fan, I'm glad Devontae Walker is on our roster. But can I be honest with you? Can I be 100 with you? There were better
receivers there.
Mm-hmm.
There was better. I mean, and TJ Tampa, like TJ Tampa, but we didn't need TJ Tampa.
No.
Rasheen Ali, I'm not mad at that pick. He actually in the Senior Bowl, he did one of our linebackers dirty, Cedric Gray or somebody like that.
Yeah, Cedric Gray. Yeah,
And in the when it was running back versus
linebacker.
linebacker passing,
Yeah,
he did Cedric Gray dirty. So he can be a weapon in the passing game, and then he's fast on the outside. Y'all go to accept the tally, and he'll break down our zone scheme we got with what we're gonna run with Derrick Henry and then Keith Mitchell and the rest of them boys. Devin Leary, I don't know what the hell we were thinking. I know Devin Leary like personally, meaning I had a good look at him when he was at NC State before he transferred to Kentucky. He's a good college quarterback, but it wasn't really nobody that we should have been drafting. That there was better quarterbacks on the board. There was better quarterbacks in HBCU that I would rather take than Devin Leary. He's a strong arm quarterback. Yeah, he's a strong arm quarterback and everything, but I mean, I just seen him when he had to make a play or when he was in trouble, when there's pressure. And then we don't know if our offensive line is going to be. I mean, we hope our offensive line is going to be better than last year. There's no telling if our offensive line. So somebody that's a quote unquote air quotes pocket quarterback, I don't understand it. You see what I'm saying? Nick Semak is actually when I did some research, it was actually not a bad pick. We need a backup center, and Purdue, Sanusi Kane. I understand that we need somebody to compete for that backup safety spot now that Geno Stone is gone. So I understand that, but
what about the linebacker? Adisa Isaac. Did you understand that one?
I was mad. I was mad as hell when we did that. But then I understand why he did it, but I don't agree with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I understand. We didn't sign the Jadeveon Clowney. So we missed that threat of Jadeveon Clowney, so we needed an edge rusher. And a lot of people say this dude is more productive. He was more productive than his counterpart Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson looked good and eye popping, but he's more he just pops out to you with his speed.
Yeah.
Getting around the corner with the tackle. Chop Robinson is he's just gonna out athletic you. You know what I'm saying? He's just gonna push.
Better athlete. Around his athleticism, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna rely. Isaac is more. I think he's more faster, kind of getting around the corner. But one of the brothers said it on, the round table on Slip the Tally show last Monday. I'm having PTSD with the what's our other boy from Penn State, the Adafe Owe.
Yeah,
we picked a couple of years ago, man.
Another Penn State outside linebacker in the edge. Yeah, athletic.
You know what I'm saying? He's fast. He shows he can get around the corner with his speed. But we like more players that can set the edge. Now Dafe Owe has done a better job at setting the edge. That first year was rough, where he was just getting pushed out the way. Second year he gained more muscle, but then that affected his speed around the corner. So this year he went back to form and he looks good. So hopefully he takes that leap. This kid, man, I understand it, but I don't agree with it, man. I think I would rather us have gotten free agent linebacker or veteran linebacker we know that's productive, that can get to the quarterback instead of using the draft pick to get a linebacker, outside linebacker. Like you said with the Tez Walker, man, I'm happy as a Tar Heel fan that he was drafted. I know his story, him getting blackballed by the NCAA. Shout out to Matt Brown for fighting for this kid. So I mean, impressive. He had like 700 yards in 8 games. Using his speed, he runs a 4.38. But maybe he can be that Torrey Smith for us, where we'll take shots over the top to draw pass interference calls. When teams load the box to try to stop Lamar or Derrick Henry, but we'll see. TJ Temple, the brothers say that he should have been drafted earlier, but he failed because his 4.5 speed. He on the slower side, but he plays faster than what his 40 time says. But I don't think we needed another corner. I would rather us go receiver there as well.
Yeah, I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying? Or
I'm gonna raise you one. Hold on, I'm gonna raise you one. I don't think we really need another running back because I believe we got our backup Owen Wright from Monmouth.
I know you like Owen Wright.
Yes,
You love Owen Wright.
I think
Yeah, he
give
run
him
hard.
a chance and see what he does in a live game. I think he'll win over.
Like we did with Gus Edwards.
Yes. So I think we got too greedy as far as running backs because now we potential because on right might be better than the one that we drafted, Rasheen Ali.
Somebody at the door. I'll be back.
Yeah, but I agree, man. We like I said, not staying on the Ravens too long. We do need to get fast at corner, so I understand it, but I think we should have did something different. But it's done now. We'll see how everything pans out. All right. All right, y'all. Coach, let's talk about it. I know the brothers in the LDBC have been cooking on this for days, man. I just want to get my opinion. So shout out to all them brothers, man. 78, BFTB, Stormy B, man.
Best fight the best.
Best fight the best. Ill Will, Black, Hamburger Cheese, Black and CC. Everybody in the LDBC, man. But those who don't know have been living under a rock. A few days ago, Ryan Garcia basically tested positive for steroids. So, and it's no secret, I'm not a big fan of Ryan Garcia. I'm Devin Haney all day. But if first of all, coach, I'm gonna let you cook on this, but the whole thing was messy from the beginning.
Yeah.
The whole thing, you came in fat, 3 pounds heavy. I know a lot of people like that 3 pounds. 3 pounds ain't. I mean, just 3 pounds.
Make a huge difference.
As a former wrestler, that's fat. That's what we say if you even a pound over or you fat. Okay. You ain't do what you're supposed to. Matter of fact, during the press conference before the fight, you shook hands with Devin Haney and said that if you came in overweight, you was gonna pay some bread. We don't even know if he did that or not. He kept his word, but I doubt it. But that's either here or there. This main thing is this gentleman Ryan Garcia, if you want to call him that, is on there on social media and talking about God and Jesus this and Jesus that, and you a Christian, but you bro, you moving like the devil, man. And people still making excuses for him. People giving him the benefit of the doubt, and poor Devin Haney does not get the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if because he's Muslim. I don't know if it because he got his dad in his life, brother Bill Haney. But it's right is right, is wrong is wrong. That's how I was raised, man. This young man, Devin Haney, never been caught doing nothing foul or dirty. But Ryan Garcia is doing everything under the sun wrong that his Bible says he ain't supposed to be doing. And this is coming from a believer as well. But people are giving him the benefit of the doubt, so that's why I'm calling this segment "Good Man in the Evil World." Coach, what's your thoughts on Ryan getting popped?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a God-fearing Christian man myself. To me, this is not about whether you're a Christian or whether you're a Muslim or not.
Yes, sir.
To me, I think it's more so about Devin Haney, in my estimation. He a good guy. And Ryan is a high-level hypocrite as far as I'm concerned. At the meet and greet, I don't know about y'all two gentlemen, but I met Bill Haney personally.
I did too. Yeah, we all did. Yes, sir.
And myself being from South Louisiana, we big on Southern hospitality. We big on treating people the way we want to be treated. And I'm not gonna lie, considering all these high-profile individuals that's in the LDBC that was at the meet and greet, I'm not even gonna lie. He treated me no different than he treated maybe a Black Fight fan or Best Fight the Best or whoever the case may be. So, as a person, we always talk about somebody like a Floyd Mayweather Jr. Even though he was an excellent boxer, he's a trash human being. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think at this point, in my opinion, even though he's talking all this good Christian stuff, I feel like Ryan Garcia kind of fits into that same category as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, first and foremost, he came in 3 pounds overweight for the fight. So he made it clear and he made it known that it's cheap. Not only did he come in 3 pounds overweight, but he popped dirty from PEDs. And, I don't care what nobody was saying. I don't care what nobody said. Basically, when I look at him and I see all the things he's done, when I see Ryan Garcia, not only do I see an individual that's not this Christian stand-up individual that he claimed he is, I see a trash human being, Now, last week on episode 42 of Bayou Sports Talk, my cousin King Ray, he like
You broke up a little. You breaking up there, Coach.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Well, he was saying, my cousin King Ray last week, he was saying on episode 42 about you sports talk, he was saying he didn't mean he liked Ryan Garcia as a person. He likes Ryan Garcia as a boxer. But when you look at his erratic behavior, him calling Bill and Devin Haney some nappy-headed. Basically, if you call him nappy-head, basically you call him nappy-headed N-words. You understand what I'm saying? And if you look at all of the things he's done, his erratic behavior, him coming in 3 pounds heavy, him popping dirty for PEDs. I'm sorry, I'm unapologetic. Basically, in my estimation, Ryan Garcia is a high level hypocrite. He's a trash human being. You know, I don't rock with him, and I'm gonna keep it real. The fact that Coach Prime is parading an individual like this around his locker room, having him around his players, I'm gonna keep it real. I've been one of these individuals that been a proponent of Coach Prime. You know, even though I didn't like him, even though I didn't like the way he left Jackson State, you know, I felt he was doing what was best in the best interest of him and his family. Mm-hmm. And I've been skeptical of the way he's been moving for a while now. However, to me, I think this situation with Ryan Garcia is kind of a final straw. I'm off the Coach Prime bandwagon. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't rock with him. I don't rock with Ryan Garcia. I don't rock with Tank Davis. I don't rock with Floyd Williams. I don't rock with nobody that's condoning and upholding this nonsense of Ryan Garcia. At the end of the day, I'm gonna keep it real. I think Ryan Garcia is a trash human being. Forget the Christianity versus Muslim aspect of it. See, that's the angle he's trying to play. But at the end of the day, I think I'm gonna just keep it true. I think he is a trash individual. You know, for he reminds me a lot of the Gypsy King at this point, in terms of being a high level hypocrite, a cheater, doing whatever it takes to be a winner, whatever the case may be. And not only that, but you try to intentionally hurt this young man. You know, what if he'd have seriously injured Devin Haney, or even worse than that, during the course of the fight?
Tim Bradley was talking about that. Tim Bradley even went as far as
building Devin
removing, banning them. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, yeah. I mean, I think a ban is necessary, and if I was building Devin Haney, I would try to sue, and I would want his purse, as far as I'm concerned. And that's my 2 cents on this particular topic, you know.
And that was a very good point you said, Coach. He said what he was going to do. He said he was going to come in, and in fact, he didn't even care about winning the belt. He's going to come in, beat up Devin Haney with any means necessary. And he did that, and he did it illegally. And we don't know if Devin punch resistance is going to be the same after this fight. A lot of people tried to say he couldn't take a punch, but the man's never been down like he was during that fight, and now we see why. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's and that's why I named this topic "Good Men in an Evil World," because Devin Haney been moving the right way the whole time. Yeah, he'll say some, he'll snap back at you or whatever, but he hasn't done nothing bogus. So when Coach Prime agrees with Ryan Garcia's God, that's what Coach Prime says. Coach Prime said, he was like, I agree with your God. I'm with your God. But bro, before you saying all that, look how people move, bro. So I agree with Coach Prime, with what you said about the Coach Prime. We did have Brother Jay Good in the earlier shows when we first got started, and he made it he made it clear he was not a fan of Coach Prime, how he moved, especially during the Jackson State. And this feeds into that, man. You know, we always been a proponent of wanting Coach Prime and his Shador and Shiloh and every, the whole team doing great. I still want that, but I can't agree with that, man. You just rubbing elbows with Ryan Garcia, and people were like, how would he know? And yeah, ignorance is bliss, but you just hopping on the bandwagon for views, that just let me side eye you, man. JB, what you think about this topic about Ryan Garcia being popped?
Look, man. Ever since the Deontay Waters situation, bro, when he first came into the fight 3 pounds heavy. I said to myself, I said, Bill and Haney need to pull out this fight because it's not going to be a fair fight. And I had the assumption that he might be doing something. He might do something like this, but I don't go jump to that conclusion.
And you
I
had
just
the
say,
same
you know,
feeling with the Deontay Wilder fights. That's why you brought him up.
the second fight. I said this is a situation where, you know, he comes from that Canelo. What's the dude that Shakur beat? That was in their camp for the
Victor
time.
Ortiz?
Shakur beat not Victor Ortiz. I'm blanking on his name.
But the whole dirty camp.
But the whole dirty camp, the Juice Crew. That's what BFTB called them. The Juice Crew. He come from there, right? He has a horrible work ethic. Canelo didn't really mess with him because he lazy. Okay? That's on record. Because he doesn't have a good work ethic. He's fighting against somebody who has a phenomenal work ethic. So I'm not surprised. Man, the dude cheated. He's a cheater. It's sad that he's using religion to get people to back him. He's using the fact that that he's young and other people are using the fact that his looks, he got the look. I heard Stephen A. Smith yesterday say, well, you know, he got that look. What is that look? Either you fight or you don't. Either you fight or you can't. And I understand what they're saying, he's marketable. But I just don't look at stuff like that. It makes me cringe when I hear a grown ass man say, well, you know, he's got that look. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whatever, dude. But he tested positive for 2 PEDs. And it's not stuff that you get from GNC or stuff you get from Walmart or CVS. It's stuff that's made in the lab. So anybody defending this man, you a whole piece of crap.
Yeah.
And because if this was you or somebody you cared about that went through this or got hurt, you would have had something to say. You would have had something to say.
It was a fight, you know, or you know.
It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter because we grow up. We would have to see you, bro. It ain't over. Because where we come from, we take the L just like we take the W's. But we find out that you had an advantage, then it's way beyond boxing or it's way beyond fighting. Then we have to do something else. Since you're doing that.
That's true. That's how a lot of that's old school. But you know,
and
like
and it's best. I agree with Haney. He said he don't want to fight him no more. And I understand that because if they fight again, it's not the lead up to the fight. It's not gonna go how people think. Bill, you know, y'all keep talking about Bill from the streets. Bill might have some. Y'all don't know who y'all messing with. So I think it's for everybody's best interest is them not to fight no more. And that's not for Haney's protection. That's for Garcia's protection. Because like Bill said, he tried to hurt his son, and all it was a boxing match. Either you have the better hands or you don't. So, I mean, I don't respect Ryan Garcia. I just some things. I mean, other people are just noobs to boxing. I'm not gonna claim that I'm the genius of boxing or anything like that. I'm the know-it-all of boxing, but I know when somebody's cheating. And I've
Yeah,
been in sports dealing with weight and stuff. You don't just some stuff makes sense, and some stuff don't. You know what I'm saying? You come 3 pounds lighter. I've seen you fight Ryan because
being
I
three
like
pounds heavier.
Ryan's
You said lighter.
3 pounds heavier. 3 pounds heavier. I've seen Ryan's fight. I've seen his fights. He's never been that strong. He's never been, and he's never. I mean, I've never seen Haney get dominated like that. And he's been in the ring with some strong fighters. You know what I'm saying? So it's whatever. And the only thing I'll say about on Devin's behalf, bro, next time somebody come in like that, 3 pounds overweight, don't give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's what
You ain't got
Sammy said.
nothing to
Yeah, I agree.
prove. Do what Deontay Wilder did when Alexander Povetkin came in hot, pissing hot. When he had pads, he popped positive for PEDs. He got on that plane and left Russia. And that's what they need to do. They need to fight somebody else.
I agree.
You can't give these people, you cannot give these people their advantage. So you see what happens. You got people defending it.
That's true. That's true.
And I'm not that type of dude that lets somebody F over the people I love or the people that I care about. No, man, just to get about no. You forget about it. So that's all I got to say about that.
All right, all right. Say, shout out to Brent Fox. Salute brothers on the move with family, but still supporting. I appreciate you, man. But fellas, just wanted to come on here today and just chop it up about a little bit about the draft and what's been going on in sports and Ryan cheating Devin and all that. But is there anything else y'all want to say before we wrap up?
Just to kind of finish off his topic, JB was 100% correct, but I think more than anything, it shows you the confidence, fight warrior and fighting spirit of Devin Haney. Because just think about it, he was willing to go to Australia twice, take B-side money in both instances to fight George Kambosos. And in addition to that, he was willing to take B-side money and let Ryan Garcia come in heavy, to get the fight that he wanted. So, it shows you the kind of warrior that Devin Haney is,
Yeah, warrior, man. And sometimes we can be a little bit too much of a warrior. You know what I mean? And that's why I love Deontay Wilder. Me personally, I'd rather have Deontay Wilder fight a tune-up before fighting Zhilei Zhang, but that's what type of man he is. He fighting a ranked heavyweight after having a bad showing of Anthony Parker, but that was after, he haven't been in the ring in a while. But
Joseph Parker.
I say Anthony Parker. Joseph Parker, thank you. Joseph Parker. But that's what type of champion he is. No excuse, on to the next. You know what I mean? He'll throwback fighter. And that's the type of man Devin Haney is as well. But yeah, good conversation, fellas.
And the crazy thing about it is, just to kind of finish it off,
go ahead.
These are the type of fighters that get bashed in the day and age instead of being praised for wanting all the smoke. They don't want to get all the backlash because they're not ducking no smoke,
Because our people need to go back to building mindset. You ain't gonna win all the time. You might have to take an L. You know what I mean? That's why people like Muhammad Ali was great, Joe Frazier. You know what I mean? But nowadays, if you take an L, you made fun of on social media and everything, and that shouldn't be. But that's the landscape of today, unfortunately. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Coach 67 Sports TV. Let people know where they can meet you and see.
You can catch me at Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms, on X, which is formerly known as Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. I have a Coach 67 Sports TV Facebook group, so you catch me on all social media platforms. However, I'm primarily here on YouTube. Go check out my channel. Hopefully, y'all have a blessed and phenomenal evening, blessed and phenomenal weekend. Catch y'all on the rebound. Oh, yeah, and Value Sports Talk will return next Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time for episode 43. So y'all come check us out. Hopefully y'all enjoy y'all weekend and y'all work week. Catch y'all on the rebound. Peace and blessings.
Yes, sir. And JB, appreciate you for supporting and holding things down behind closed doors. Appreciate you, man.
No problem, man.
Well, ladies and gents, this was an installment of the Southern Baller Show. Y'all have a blessed day. Y'all be safe out here.